Yep.
This one may require, or at least invite, your participation. Your part would be right here and right now.
We know that one.
Thank you. Boy, that was wonderful, wonderful. Matt Lightman and Steve Springer and Chuck Page. So another round. So welcome to everyone here today to the fellowship, all those here in person and those watching virtually. So happy that you're joining us on this beautiful Sunday. Gosh, beautiful, beautiful Sunday. And at the fellowship, we recognize all encounters are holy. And we know that our time today is by divine appointment, without a doubt, right? And we're just so glad that we get to spend this Sunday afternoon together. So I'd love for us all to stand if we're able, and we're going to sing right on the front of our songbook our prayer of the child of God, which was created by our beloved Corey Williams. Thank you. That sounded just beautiful. Thank you, Corey. And before we do our opening meditation, we just want to draw your attention to your packet where you have your financial card. You also have here a connection card. So if you have any changes in phone, address, emails, just make a note of it. And also on the back of this card, just take a moment and just list those you would like to include in our prayer. The special time we have later, we're going to send some special prayers out to those that we would like to honor and just to acknowledge in today's service. So, and then later, John will pass the basket around and you can just stick your card in there. And let's begin our service with our meditation, our opening meditation. So I'll invite you to close your eyes, somewhere safe to do so, or perhaps just gaze downward. And just placing both feet on the floor, just feeling all four parts of your foot, just really rooting down into the earth. Find a nice, tall, open posture. Nice and wide across our collarbones. Here we'll be able to take some nice deep breaths in together. And so let's do that. Let's take some slow, deep breaths in. And a slow, deep breath out. repeat that a few times. In and out through the nose if that's available. If not, we can exhale through the mouth. Inhale, just feeling the breath going to the bottom of the lungs, filling the lower ribs, maybe the belly, and just letting go on that out breath. Just letting go of maybe any tension or stress or hurriedness of the day. Just letting that go. And one more deep, slow breath in and out, just like that. Filling, filling, filling in the lower belly. And just gently exhaling, just like contracting those muscles back to the spine. And then just back to your natural breath. And we're just preparing ourselves for some inner listening. And just to help us align with the divine. And letting our breath just soften and slow down naturally. Envision the soles of your feet opening and dropping your roots down into the earth. And let these roots spread out and connect us with everyone here today and everyone joining us virtually. You're forming a webbing of support. It's anchoring the light and love present within each of us. And with each breath, as we are dropping down into this calm stillness and spaciousness, and while rooting down, we are also reaching up. Reaching up your branches high and plugging into your own highest light. And just letting go to the grace of this two-way flow. And here, while in this reflective state, just going to read a lesson 188 from the Course in Miracles. The peace of God is shining in you now, and from your heart extends around the world. It pauses to caress each living thing and leaves a blessing with it that remains forever and forever. What it gives must be eternal. It removes all thoughts of the ephemeral and valueless. It brings renewal to all tired hearts and lights all vision as it passes by. This lesson asks us to shift our focus from outside, searching out there for peace, to instead within, to the cave of our hearts, where the shining peace, this eternal light, is already burning bright and steady, where it has always been and always will remain. And just taking a deeper breath in and out as we come back into this space rubbing the fingers and toes. And we are going to welcome again the Matt Fletton Band. And Steve Springer is here and Chuck Tate.
It is wonderful to be here, to see you guys, have you sing back at me. And here's another song you might be familiar with. The line is, "Sing out loud is probably not forgiven. We are blessed by all we give and all that we are given." Hear, hear.
We are so excited that you're back here. Oh my goodness, this is so joyful, so grateful for all of you. Steve Greener and Chuck Page and Matt Lighton. Oh wow. Doesn't get much better, I tell you. And we are going to stand for a fellowship song. It is on page 18, I Am Responsible. And then after, we'll remain standing if you would like for our namaste greeting or a greeting any way that feels right to you.
Unless Mary's going to take care of it. But,
the mic was too low.
No, don't worry about it. Sorry, I don't want to distract you.
I am.
Never have.
I am.
No, I didn't notice that.
Okay.
Here. Oh, yeah. I just remember that song.
Yeah.
Actually, Mary. Thank you.
Such a fun part of service. And right now it's time to introduce our speaker for today.
Wait, that's your right.
Yes, we've switched our order just a little bit, so yeah. And as always, just so happy to be able to introduce our wonderful spiritual director and mentor, Reverend Mary Sabaj.
Give this to you, so here we go. And I will give this to you. Thanks. Hello. I was like, really? Already? My goodness. All I could think of when Matt and the band started playing is, gosh, it feels like fellowship is back to normal again. So thank you so much for that experience. So I found this book called The Lost Booklets of Emmet Fox. And as I was leafing through, I saw it's actually a republished pamphlet of his on reincarnation. And that's not something that we talk a lot about, and it's not something that we have talked about with regard to Emmet Fox. So I started reading it, and I thought, well, this is something I would like to speak to you about. But then, of course, I started looking around and found other fun things to tell you, so to share with you. So we'll get to Emmet Fox, so just keep that in mind. We hear a lot about near-death experiences, and in those accounts, we're able to see the possibility of soul or spirit existence beyond our human life here, and that there's a lot of talk about that, and a lot of research and data collection being done on these near-death experiences. But I saw something that I hadn't really heard a lot about, and I hadn't really thought about a lot about. So we call near-death experiences NDEs. And what I ran into was a lot of discussion around PBEs. Anybody have any idea? Pre-birth experiences. Interesting. That caught my interest. And what these are announcements from a child who is coming into the human earth plane through a mother, and or an experience of a child that has yet to be born. And some of these are, I was watching a lot of accounts, and one, I'll just tell you about one in particular. This mother was already pregnant. It looked like the early stages. It must have been the early stages. And she was really unhappy about her marriage and really unhappy about her pregnancy. She was maybe she was thinking she was a little bit old for this. And this particular day, she was just feeling, so bad and so torn. She went into her bedroom and she was crying. She laid down on the bed and, she just was beside herself. And she looked up and she saw this form in the corner. And it caught her eye, and she watched it. She kind of stopped the crying, and the form walked over and stood by the bed. And it was not a baby, but a younger woman who she described in such detail, with long blonde hair and blue eyes and light skin and very thin. And the young woman looked down at her and said, "Everything is going to be all right. This is all meant to be. And I want to thank you for my opportunity." And that changed the whole trajectory of her thoughts around the pregnancy. And people from all over the world, all kinds of religions and not religious people, very reputable. The same thing we see with the near-death experiences, the same type of individuals reporting having these pre-birth experiences. So they've been doing a lot of data, and they've determined that they've identified a number of different types of experiences, which are interesting. One is that the child would appear in a dream or a vision. And in those cases, they make sure that whoever's reporting this is awake and alert at the time. People hear the voice of the pre-birth spirit, or it enters their mind in a telepathic way. And there are cases reported where the pre-birth soul that's coming in is seen with an escort, which is really sweet, I think. And there are cases where the pre-birth soul is seen with a brilliant light surrounding it. The common factor is that there are a lot of details that these people who are reporting retain, and they all seem to report as well a calming and peaceful effect and an affirming effect of seeing or experiencing this pre-birth soul. The data shows that 53% of these experiences occur before conception and 47% between conception and birth. So that's interesting as well. The mother's not even pregnant yet. They're experienced by different people in the family, 63% by mothers, 13% by fathers, and 24% by grandparents and siblings. There are also accounts of children yet to be born who are coming through another biological parent, but they are there with the message that I will come to you. So I'm coming into the world through another mother, but I will be coming to you as your child. So the soul, or this pre-birth spirit, is, the way we think of it here at the fellowship is that larger part of us that is eternal, that persists before, during, and after our human experience. And the historical scholars say that there is no question that reincarnation was a commonplace belief. Early in ancient texts, there are many references found back to 2000 BC. They exist. And make reference to the human soul existing prior to and after the human form. Ancient traditions, Greek, Babylonian, and Mesopotamian, view the soul as eternal, an eternal entity. And there are also many narratives from the rabbinical, Hasidic, and Jewish traditions, and biblical references to the soul as eternal. Historical scholar Terry Given says we would be hard-pressed to find a single moment in Western intellectual or religious history where there weren't influential and prominent historians, theologians, and philosophers writing about and arguing for the eternal preexistence of the soul. He made reference to, and I've never heard of this gentleman, Origen of Alexandria, back in the 200s. He's actually thought to be the founding father of Christianity because he wrote the first treatises that laid out the first principles of Christianity. Plato had 4 or 5 of his dialogues that were totally preoccupied with writing about reincarnation, and he's the father of Western philosophy. And of course, the Eastern traditions, Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, and Sikhism, all have embedded in their belief system this reincarnation and karma wheel that we're all on. In the Christian tradition, however, reincarnation was declared heresy in the 5th century. And the historical scholars identify several reasons for that. I particularly was listening to Daniel Peterson. He said that at some point, the idea of reincarnation was condemned specifically, and it makes sense then for something to be condemned, the thought had to exist in the first place. So that, he's saying, yes, of course, reincarnation beliefs existed. There were several reasons that he talked about, but one in particular caught my attention, and it was due to the fact that the church began to teach the doctrine of original sin, and that being that humans are born corrupt and depraved. And also, during all this time of history, there was just a belief in innate class system. Some people are worthy of being, elite and wealthy and ruling class, and others are not. They're not worthy. They're can be the slaves. And if we want to maintain those beliefs and that control, then it certainly doesn't make sense to teach that there's this predetermined system of spiritual growth that's at play, where all of us, children of God, divine children of God, come into this world to learn, new soul lessons, and come back and back until we, have dealt with all of our issues and dealt with all of the lessons that we need to learn. It just didn't make sense. And that's just another, demonstration of how the church manipulated what was available to people to see and learn about so that they could be in control. So Emmet Fox, as I said, wrote this small pamphlet. I want to say it might only be 54 pages. And it's called Reincarnation, Described and Explained. And it was published in 1939. And just a little review about Emmet Fox. I believe pretty much everyone here is familiar with him, but he was an early 20th century New Thought spiritual leader. He studied and was ordained in the Church of Divine Science, along with Charles Fillmore and Ernest Holmes. So he was in good company too. And he taught and spoke through the Great Depression years. He also had a great influence on the AA community. And that was because Fox's secretary was the mother of a man who worked with Bill Wilson, one of the AA co-founders. So you'll see his ideas and concepts a lot in AA. So Fox writes that his belief is that we all have many, many lives. And sitting here today, we can probably be assured that we have been on this earth plane in many different conditions, many different ages, many different types of civilizations, places, different eras. We have been wealthy and we have been poor and everything in between. We have been kings and queens and have toiled as peasants. A quote from him is, "What we call a lifetime is really a brief day in an eternal existence." Fox says for various reasons, Nature has drawn the veil of forgetfulness for good reason, hiding away the memories of our prior lives. And that's always something that's interesting to think about. Why is it that we come into each incarnation and having forgotten everything? So I ran across this really, I think, sweet Jewish legend, because reincarnation is also very much within the Jewish teachings. And it says, at the moment when mother and father are about to engender a child, the angel Gabriel goes to the treasury of souls, where all the spirits waiting for their moment of embodiment are found. And he brings forth a child, a soul that is designated for that couple. And then Gabriel reveals to that soul who the parents are, what his relationship or their relationship will be with them, and their mission in human life. And then Gabriel lays his finger on the upper lip of the soul, right here, and says, and now you must forget everything. And that is also an explanation for why we have this little indentation here in our upper lip. It's the philtrum, I think it's called. And I can just picture the angel Gabriel saying, shh, now you must forget everything, and that little indentation staying there. So why don't we remember? It's true that some people do have glimpses of prior lifetimes. I did, what is it called? The process. Yes, past life regression. And it felt very real to me, and I felt like I really had an experience of some things that happened to me. Other people, have glimpses in different ways, but most of the time, we just go through this human existence without remembering. And Emmet Fox says this about it. Well, he says, we simply couldn't handle it. And I thought, I woke up in the middle of the night and sat up in bed and thought, gosh, consider that we wouldn't be remembering just dry facts about our past lives. We would be remembering all of the good along with the bad, all of the suffering, the guilt, the shame, the anger, the bad deeds and the good deeds, and all those emotional feelings as well. All the triggers. Think about all the triggers of a lifetime, or eternal lifetimes. And then also consider how prone we are to worrying and grieving and suffering around the past events of this lifetime, and all the work that we do to forgive ourselves and forgive others so that we can let that go. Well, if we remembered everything about our past lives, I just think it could be all-consuming. So Emmet Fox says, withheld. And he believes that we must be developed enough and ready to look at our lives in a detached and objective way. And he says he believes that that time will come when we will be able to look back and consider every incident of our lives, plural, with great interest, calmly and objectively. So I am looking forward to continuing on next Sunday with Emmet Fox's views on reincarnation, and also having us take a look at how understanding the concept of reincarnation can help us in this lifetime that we're in right now. And I want to leave you with just a little quote that I thought was so beautiful. We are so lightly here. It is in love that we are made, and in love we disappear. And that was Leonard Cohen. Thank you. Oops.
Thank you, Mary. On page 35, every thought becomes a prayer. Our thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
Thank you so much, Corey and Mary. Mary, thank you so much. Wonderful message. And this is the time we will take a moment to just think of the blessings we have here. And we are taught in the Course in Miracles that giving and receiving are one in truth. And everyone here benefits from the generosity of everyone, of all that you give. And just want to say a big thank you for all the support. And whether you're preparing your gift now or you donate online, please hold your gifts in consciousness. And John will be walking around with the basket. And remember your prayer, the card, with those that you would like to be remembered. And then we'll pull out our card so we can bless our tithes and offerings. The light of divine love shines eternally, blessing and multiplying our tithes and offerings. I joyously give, knowing I always have enough to share and to spare. Thank you, John. Just take a moment and just draw to mind the names that you have put in the basket or the names that you have in your heart. And let's see all those people, all those events being held by divine love. And let them all feel that loving embrace and deep, deep care. Let them know they are the beloved children of God, of love, that they are whole, that they are blessed and safe. And never, never alone. And we're going to have one more fellowship song together. And that is number 1, The Essence of Our Being.
And it is a pleasure for me to be here with you people. And part of it's because you're wonderful people, and part of it's because I'm grateful for how Fellowship for Today has helped me develop as a musician from long ago. And this is one of the first songs that I wrote and performed here, and it has one of the stanzas I stole directly from the Course in Miracles. Don't tell them.
It
Wow. Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Let's see, our announcements. Death Cafe will be on Saturday, July 15th at the Fellowship Office at 2 o'clock. Healing Movements at Monday evening, 6 o'clock at the Fellowship Office. Potluck on July 30th. So 2 weeks, is that right? 2 weeks. And any other announcements? Anything? Does anyone want to share? Watching for another wonderful service. Reverend Mary, this really interesting topic this evening, and Matt Blyton Band. We have to again thank Matt, Steve, and Paul. And of course our Corey Williams, and Samantha for helping put everything together. Okay, so invite everyone to join for our peace circle and the words in the book if you need that.
And let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace sing to God.